I'll never forget that night. How could I? Valentine's Day. The day everything went so terribly wrong. Andrea and I had been chatting online for weeks. She was funny, clever, and had this magnetic air of mystery about her. When she suggested dinner at a cozy Italian place downtown, I hesitated. Meeting someone in person felt daunting, but something about her drew me in. Against my better judgment, I agreed. The restaurant was a quaint spot, the kind that feels intimate even when it's bustling. Andrea arrived just as I did, her dark hair glinting under the warm glow of the hanging lights. She was stunning, every bit as striking as her photos. Her smile was disarming but held a faint edge, like she knew something I didn't. We made small talk at first. Hobbies, travel dreams, favorite foods, but something felt off. Her answers to questions didn't always align with what she'd said online. She claimed she loved rock climbing, but earlier had mentioned being terrified of heights. Maybe I was reading too much into it, so I let it slide. The conversation veered into strange territory when she asked, "What's the most reckless thing you've ever done?" I laughed nervously. I'm not much of a risk taker, honestly. Her eyes locked on mine and her smile widened. Maybe tonight will change that. The waiter arrived with our food, breaking the tension. For a while, everything felt normal again. But as the night wore on, her demeanor shifted. She started asking pointed questions. Did I live alone? Did I always go out at night? Did anyone know I was here? The unease crept in slowly. Like a cold draft I couldn't escape. Midway through dinner, she excused herself to use the restroom. That's when I noticed her phone on the table. It buzzed once, and a preview of the message appeared. Is he buying it? My stomach twisted. My first instinct was to leave, but something kept me rooted in my chair. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, so I waited. When Andrea returned, she noticed her phone right away and tucked it into her bag without saying a word. Her demeanor had changed. She seemed tense, her smile forced. I tried to keep the conversation going, but my nerves made it impossible to focus. Then she said something that made my blood run cold. Are you always this trusting? It was such an odd question, blunt and out of place. I laughed nervously, unsure how to respond. I mean, we just met. She leaned closer, her voice dropping to a whisper. You shouldn't be. You never know who's on the other side of the screen. I froze. My chair scraped against the floor as I pushed back. What's that supposed to mean? Her expression turned icy. Relax, it's just a joke. She smiled then and said, Anyway, here you are sharing a drink with me. That's what I like about you. You take chances. The way she said it felt less like a compliment and more like a threat. I should probably head out, I said, standing abruptly. She tilted her head, studying me like a puzzle she hadn't quite solved. So soon? The night's just getting started. I muttered an excuse about an early meeting and started for the door. The hair on the back of my neck prickled as I walked out, but I didn't dare look back. The parking lot was eerily quiet. My car was parked in the far corner, under a flickering light. As I approached, I heard footsteps behind me, slow and deliberate. I turned to see Andrea standing there, holding something small and dark. Thanks for dinner, she said. You forgot this, and extended her hand. It was my wallet. How did she get my wallet? I hadn't taken it out all night. I patted the pockets of my pants and jacket to make sure she wasn't lying, but it was gone. Don't worry, she said. Dinner was on me. You can owe me next time. I stepped back, fumbling for my keys. "Thanks. You can just leave it on the ground." Her smile was razor thin. "Don't be silly. Come get it." Panic surged through me. I dove into my car and locked the doors as she started toward me. She slapped her palm against the window, her face inches from the glass. "Drive safe," she said with a sly grin, her voice muffled but calm. Then she tossed the wallet onto the hood and walked away into the darkness. I sat shaking in my car for what seemed like 20 minutes. When I was sure she had gone, I opened the door and leaned out over the windshield, plucking my wallet off the hood. I quickly shut and locked the door again, breathing a sigh of relief. As I was placing my wallet into my coat pocket, a slip of paper fell out of it into my lap. I stared at it for a moment, knowing that I hadn't had any loose papers or receipts inside. With a quivering hand, I unfolded the paper. On it was a note, written in an eloquent cursive. 3 words that sent a shiver down my spine. "See you soon.